So let's have a look at McCormack Company final accounts for the 2022 exam paper. So if you look at our first adjustment is looking at our stock at cost on the 31st of 12th 2021 was 82,800. So that's our closing stock. It is discovered that goods had been received from a creditor on the 31st of 12th 2021 on a sale or return basis. So that means that we have purchased goods. If we don't sell those goods, then we can return them to our supplier. So what happens with a sale or return all the time is that your closing stock is going to be adjusted, your purchases are going to be adjusted, and your creditors are going to be adjusted. Now be careful with this. This can either come from goods have been received from a creditor or goods have been sent to a debtor. If it's a debtor, well then your purchases will change to sales and your creditors will change to debtors. But for this one, it's looking at a sale or return. We purchase goods, we have an agreement with them that any goods that we don't sell, we're going to return to our supplier. So that means that our closing stock is going to have to decrease, our purchases are going to decrease, and our creditors are going to decrease because we haven't made those purchases, so we don't owe the money to our creditors, so we don't have the stock in our stockroom. The retail value of the goods were 9,250, which includes a markup cost of 25%. So this is how much we're going to sell it for. Remember, when we purchase something, we always purchase at cost. So first of all, we need to find out what is the 100%, and that's what we're going to decrease our closing stock by. 100% then we're going to decrease our purchases by, and our creditors then we're going to decrease it by the 100% as well. So the three accounts, the three workers you're going to have your closing stock, you're going to have your purchases, and you're going to have your creditors. So we know from the question that 125% is equal to 9,225. So 1% is equal to 9,225 divided by 125. So 74. So 100% then, which is going to be the cost of the goods that we bought, it's going to be just 74, multiply that by 100. So 7,400 is the cost of the goods. So your closing stock is taken as per the question, so 82,800. We got our sale or return that we need to reduce by the figure we've just calculated, which is 7,400. So that gives us 75,400. Then your purchases then, which is taken straight from the question. So we go back and have a look and see how much our purchases are from the trial balance. And remember, your purchases will be on the debit side, sales are on the credit side. So 9,000 or 905,000 is our purchases. We need to take away our sale or return because that's the agreement we have with our supplier, 7,400. So that's going to give us 897,600, and then your creditors then are going to reduce as well because we don't owe them that money. So our debtors and our creditors, remember your debtors will be on the debit side, creditors will be on the credit side. So our creditors are 81,500. I'm going to take away our sale or return, which is a figure that we just calculated, which is the 100%. So that's going to give us a new figure then of 7,000 or 74,100. So anytime that you get your sale or return, three accounts need to be adjusted. Your closing stock needs to be adjusted. They need to be decreased because we can return the goods if we haven't sold them, so they're not in our stockroom. Our purchases need to be decreased as well, so we actually haven't purchased these until we make the returns on what we have sold and that sort of thing. And then your creditors then, because we haven't made our purchases, our creditors then are also going to need to be decreased as well. Remember, you have to calculate what is the 100%, because in the question it told us a figure which is 125%, which includes your markup. This is 9,250. So you calculate the 100%, and that 100% then of 7,400 is how much we're going to decrease our closing stock by, decrease our purchases by, and decrease our creditors by. So anytime you get your sale or return Answer: sale return received from a creditor. It's these three accounts. If it's sent to a debtor, which you can also be asked as well, so we'll look out for that. That means then your closing stock still needs to be adjusted, but your purchases will turn to your sales and your creditors will turn to your debtors. So that's the first adjustment from McCormack for the 2022 exam question for company accounts.